Hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's enablement session. My name is Jona Hartleb and I'm a technical consultant here at Serity. Today we are discussing the strategic acquisition of Veza by ServiceNow. We've all seen the rapid rise of agentic AI within the economy, but with that speed comes a critical security question. How do we ensure that the right human or machine has access to the right data at the right time? In this session, we are going to look at how the integration of Veza into ServiceNow allows us to answer that question definitively. We'll break down the core problems this solves, the unique features we are gaining, and most importantly, how this empowers us to provide significant, measurable value to our customers. Let's get started. To begin, let's look at the core challenge facing modern enterprises today, what we call identity debt. Organizations are struggling to manage a rapidly growing and diverse array of identities, spanning employees, partners, systems, devices, and increasingly autonomous AI agents. This complexity creates critical security blind spots, leaving organizations unable to answer the fundamental security question, who has access to what? These risks are compounded by emerging threats as threat actors adopt agentic AI to orchestrate sophisticated attacks, requiring us to implement much stronger identity and access controls. This is why we are looking at the solution provided by the integration of Veza and ServiceNow, which enables end-to-end identity security rooted in the principle of least privilege to significantly reduce enterprise risk. Now that we've established the challenge, let's look at the core capabilities that make this integration a game changer. At the heart of the solution is the Veza access graph, which gives us who has access to what visibility, covering not just humans but non-human identities and even AI agents. To make this truly powerful, we have 5 core capabilities. First, we gain complete access visibility. We surface hidden risks such as missing MFA, inactive accounts, or excessive entitlements to improve your overall security posture. Second, we insert data into ServiceNow. We populate user identities, entitlement records, and access history directly into ServiceNow tables, establishing it as your system of record for audit and compliance. Third, we don't just see the risk, we act on it. We automatically trigger ServiceNow tickets for remediation across the entire connected ecosystem. Fourth, we respect your existing architecture. We integrate directly with your current ServiceNow workflows, supporting provisioning and deprovisioning without requiring your teams to invent new processes. And finally, we close the loop with write-back. When a ticket is closed in ServiceNow, the status is synced back to Veza, ensuring the access revocation is confirmed and our data remains audit ready. I realize that when we talk about integrating ecosystems and closing the loop, it can sound like a heavy lift. I want to demystify that for you right now. Let's look at the environment so you can see how incredibly straightforward and intuitive this process actually is. This is the Veza dashboard. It acts somehow as the central command center for identity security. Instead of manually digging through individual platforms, Veza aggregates your most critical risks like MFA gaps, shadow IT, or overprivileged users into one single view. This moves us from passive monitoring to actionable prioritization, allowing you to focus your efforts on remediating the highest impact security threats immediately. From the dashboard, we can drill down into specific reports, like the Salesforce misconfigurations, to find the root cause of risks. Veza categorizes these findings into 3 critical areas: organization-wide settings, profile-based access, and user-specific identity lifecycle issues. This allows us to move from seeing a problem to fixing it by isolating exactly which accounts or configurations need remediation. Now we shift focus to access governance. Veza helps us identify 3 critical risk categories within, for example, Salesforce. The first category is admin privileges. As you can see on this dashboard, we immediately flag users with powerful admin rights that might not be necessary for their current role. By visualizing these misconfigurations, we can take immediate action to enforce best practices. Next, we address the violation of least privilege. It's common for Salesforce permission sets to become bloated over time. Veza surfaces specific permission sets that grant broad, dangerous access, such as, for example, modify all data or view all records, which should be strictly restricted. This allows us to tighten our security posture without disrupting daily operations. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, is the blast radius calculation. This gives us a clear, quantifiable view of the actual impact of an identity. If an account is compromised, we know exactly how many records they have access to. Being able to categorize these users from those with access to over 1,000 accounts down to those with limited access enables us to prioritize our remediation efforts where the risk is highest. The dashboard tells us what the risks are, but the query builder helps us find the root cause. Here we can correlate data across different systems. For example, we are looking for orphan accounts, which are Salesforce users that have no corresponding identity in our central provider, here Okta. By running this query, we immediately highlight these 6 specific blind spots in our identity lifecycle. This level of cross-platform correlation is how we identify and remediate security gaps that otherwise stay hidden in disconnected systems. This is what sets Veza truly apart. This is our authorization graph. Most security tools only show you how permissions are configured. Veza shows you what they actually do. This graph is not just a diagram, it is the actual path of access. When we select a specific identity, like the Salesforce admin, Veza instantly calculates the entire permission chain. We don't have to look through multiple configuration screens. We can literally trace the line from the user through their groups and roles directly to the data actions they are authorized to perform. It turns abstract access rights into transparent visual paths. Visibility is great, but real security comes from automation. We don't want to spend our days manually checking dashboards, so we close the loop by turning these insights into actionable rules. In the first step, we simply save a query to define our monitoring scope, enter the credentials for our rule, and then set our preferred conditions. As you can see, the setup is very straightforward. We simply define our if and then conditions. And this is the key integration point. Notice that we select Deliver Alert via ServiceNow workflow. This allows us to push these alerts directly into our existing ServiceNow environment. It automatically becomes a ServiceNow incident or request item, kicking off our standard IT service management workflow, ensuring every risk is tracked, assigned, and resolved within our existing processes. We are moving from finding problems to proactively managing our identity security in real time. We've moved from manual complexity to automated governance. By connecting Veza with ServiceNow, we've replaced guesswork with real-time actionable insights. We aren't just identifying risks anymore. We are proactively resolving them through our existing IT workflows. It's simple, it's scalable, and it turns identity management from a security bottleneck into a real business advantage. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this overview was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't hesitate to connect or send me a message if you'd like to discuss this further. Thank you.